Welcome to the most forward-thinking, inspirational podcast in this reality. The show designed to challenge everything we've been taught. If you've ever felt there had to be more to life, more to existence, then you're listening to the right podcast. Time to open your mind and dive in. This is the Mental Mastery Alliance podcast.
And here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Mental Mastery Alliance podcast. Today, I want to talk about men's mental health. I want to talk about mental health awareness. I want to talk about a few things. I want to talk primarily, too, about how most people handle certain scenarios and certain situations. I've seen recently, stop me if you've heard this one before, but I've seen recently people going through a lot of stuff, posting a lot of stuff, sort of living in a darkness. I'm seeing a lot of memes out there at this moment in time talking about how this is a transitional period, how et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. This is happening, that's happening. Something's in retrograde, and Mercury's and Topaz, Gatorade. Anyway, I look at all this stuff and you can say, hey, this is true. This is right. This is alignment. But you don't have to. And what I mean by that is every single thing that you look at, everything that you focus on becomes your truth, your reality, becomes your defining moment, becomes whatever it is that you need it to be the thing that you think that you need it to be. And so whatever excuse or reason you give yourself as to what anything could be is that reason. That becomes the thing. And when you decide that you're going to give yourself a moment of clarity, or you're going to give yourself some space and some time and some consideration, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, there's a lot of factors that go into this. So one of the things that people don't really address in life is life itself. We rarely allow ourselves the grace of saying, hey, this is fucked up. How do I fix this? How do I do this? How do I go about this? A lot of the times it gets there once it's broken, once we've really fucking hammered it down. They say things like, true love is never tested in the great moments, it's tested in the harsh moments. And I understand that. I get that. But also, keep in mind that when we hear things like that, we think of our definition of love. And my definition of love is different than your definition of love, because I'm what they're referring to as an avoidant. Now, I'm a hyper self-aware avoidant, but I have different emotional triggers than most. And sometimes that's good enough. Sometimes that's not good enough. Sometimes people want stoic, and sometimes people feel abandoned. So I don't fully grasp how I'm supposed to be anything to anyone. And trust me, when you keep doing something like this, you're going to lose yourself. And when you lose yourself, here's a real kick in the dick, is the resentment you feel towards them. If you're unhealed or if you're unwilling to heal, the resentment you feel towards them, even as a healed person, briefly sucks. It's not them, right? Nothing bad is happening to us. Everything is happening for us. Now, that shit used to not make sense to me when I was hyper in the third dimension, watching all these kids starve and blah, 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 in all these countries and all this sort of shit. And I'm like, they didn't choose that. But honestly, I don't know. In the fifth dimension, sixth dimension, I don't know who chose what. I firmly believe that our actions are our choices. Now, I also believe in multiple streams of reality. I've also been told that if you decide you want this, that, and the other thing in this reality, in the next two realities, you're going to have to suffer. So maybe you chose to be an ultra elite celebrity in this reality. Well, the next time you come back, you're going to be one of the kids that you abused if you're an Epstein celebrity guy. Not that I know anything about that, because it's all just for fun. Yay, don't take this channel down. Actually, since we're doing these things, let's just see if I can get the right button here.
In the news. Now.
Nope, I did not get the right button. You know what? This is episode 353. You would think that I would be able to press the right button.
Disclaimer. If you're going to soundbite any of this podcast, you must soundbite it in its entirety for consistency and context.
Yeah. This is the shit that I love. Anyway, so here we are, 300. Oh no, this might not be episode 353. So we're roughly 355 episodes into it, and I'm still pressing the wrong buttons. I say it might not be 353 because there could be a shuffle in order. I know the World Series is going on. I may want to talk on that. I'm not sure when this episode's going to go out. Also, this episode is going to talk a little bit about my breakup with my girlfriend and my curiosity towards it and sort of how I feel about it. And so I'm not even sure if this episode's ever going to see the light of day, just because, hey, why the fuck would why do I need to vent such personal things if it does get personal? But I do know that the idea that this might go out could get cathartic and I could start talking all kinds of stuff. But at the same time, why would I? So no, this is probably going to go out. There's not going to be an issue. And my idea of the breakup is not even as bad as as it sounds. Being able to talk through things is huge. Again, it brings me back to one of my favorite quotes is, why do men start podcasts instead of go to therapy? And I'll tell you this right now. The fact that I can sit here and have this conversation with a microphone and get this off my chest, there's no different than a therapist sitting in front of me. Granted, they often give you good ideas and good quotes and all that sort of stuff and things for you to work on, sure. But the problem with the therapist is they get paid if you come back, right? And as somebody who's been a coach for a long time, we get paid when you're successful. And we don't want you to come back as much as we love you. We're like, hey, man, you're good. Like get out there and rock it. We're here for you as long as you need us to be, but the idea isn't to perpetually keep you coming back. So it's a huge difference. I say all this because we find ourselves in a beautiful situation where the world is coming. It's coming at you nonstop. And our perception of the world, or this or that, all of these things, all of these stories that we tell ourselves as to who is what and how we get about, where we go and all this sort of shit. Whatever story you choose to tell yourself becomes your reality. This is one of those things where you really do have to be careful as to what it is that you're saying to yourself. I was in a perfect relationship, so I thought we never fought once. And herein lies the problem. We never really communicated. And as much as I would say, hey, look, we did our podcast, we did this, you guys have all met her, and as much as I would love to say, hey, we're going to fix this, we're going to turn this around. At this moment in time, I don't see how that's even possible, because as an avoidant, I got there a certain way. I believed that love was not for me. And there's quotes by Osho, those who are destined for absolute greatness or what have you don't have love in the cards because they don't have time to slow it down. I heard a quote. I heard a quote in a song, and it was such a poignant statement because we're not allowed to use the hard R word anymore, and I respect that. But this quote was from a song from like the 80s, and it said, "Love is for people who have fallen behind." And I don't know if you guys are familiar what another word for somebody who's late is, or somebody who's a little bit behind. I thought that was absolutely perfect. I wish I could quote the song, but I don't even remember what it was. I just remember hearing it. It might have even been like Sneaker Pimps or something like that. Six Underground. I don't know. It was just a throwaway line from the early 2000s. And I'm like, I never caught it until now. Love is for people that have fallen a bit behind. And I thought, shit, that's perfect. I am not an advocate for not loving. I certainly say love with your whole heart and throw it out there. You have to ask questions. Things like, did I know? Like I knew, the entirety of my history is indicative of she's going to leave. It's going to be sudden and it's going to be permanent, because that's how all of my relationships end. Not all of them, but a better part of them. The thing is, the majority of my relationships end that way because I push people away. At least I did in my youth. Now, remember too, to those of you who have been listening for a long time, I went through what I refer to as my 7 years in Tibet, where I completely reprogrammed who I was right down to the core. My kindness, I quit all drinking, I quit all drugs, I quit absolutely everything. All vices I just sort of threw out the window and went toe to toe with my depression and my anxiety and my mental health. And in the interim, I built this business from the ashes, essentially. Like I really, really reconstructed and deconstructed myself. And anyone that wants to go through that process, I would never in a million years take that opportunity away from you. Why would I? Does it hurt that somebody that has professed their love for you and probably still does love you has said, look, we're done? Yeah. Oh yeah. It probably hurts more than I would ever care to admit. But what are we supposed to do about it as men? You suck it up and you stand tall for everybody that's around you, which brings me to my next point, which is men's mental health. And men aren't allowed to crack. We're not allowed to be anything. We're not even allowed to fucking go bald. You see a man with a toupee, you make fun of him. You see a woman with a toupee, you're like, hey, she's looking good. Right? Men cannot grow bald. What do you got there, buddy? Hair plugs? Loser. What do you got there, buddy? A bald spot? Loser. What do you got there, buddy? The fucking toupee? Loser. Nothing. Now, luckily for me, I'm 6'2", 280 pounds. So when I went bald, I shaved it and grew a giant beard, and now nobody really fucks with me. But they can, and it's okay. It's always been okay. Look at the television. All men are idiots. What the fuck? Men's mental health. Believe all women. Right now, granted, there's an attack on women too. And this is a really weird spot that we're in socially. I talked about this last episode of the one before. Men and women are under attack. If you look at the media, all men and women are under attack under the guise of inclusivity. So everyone's included except for men and women. Straight men and women, not included. It's interesting. I'm not attacking anybody. I don't even care. My thing is, if you want to attack, if you have the idea and the desire to attack, if you think that it's in you to get out there and lash out and attack people for whatever your beliefs are, well, fuck me, come on. We live in a world where you were trained to do that. If you're out there shitting on people, no matter what you quote unquote identify as, if you're attacking other people in any capacity, you're the problem. You're a piece of shit. And I don't care what color you are. I don't care what clothes you put on. I don't care what you call yourself. If you're out there attacking other people, you're a piece of shit. So I'm just going to end that there because fuck it. Why not? And that statement, let's segue into something a little bit more friendly. Racism. There's another one. These division tactics, literally all of them. Poverty, rich, poor, follow the money. It's all bullshit. It's all bullshit. It's all perpetuated. All of it's fabricated. All of it's made up. The entirety of everything's made up. Our entire history is made up. And once you get over that, you can look at it and go, fuck, what's the purpose? What was the point of all this? Why did this happen? Why did this have to be this way? What are they really controlling? And then you'll hear people say, follow the money. Again, money's fake. Those that have us ass backwards, twisted and flipped upside down, shooting some people outside of the school. These guys invented money. It is our prison ticket. They don't give a shit about it. They don't fucking care about it. They don't want it. They don't need it. It's not a thing. Now, saying that, it sounds like I'm saying there's a person out there that has control over me. And I don't believe that to be true at all either. So, unhealed, broken version of me would have said, hey, I got broken up with again because this is the pattern, this is the thing, and I'm not good enough. But that's not the case this time around. I was with a beautiful, beautiful woman. I may have been blinded to certain things. I may have pushed myself and I may have lost myself in the process of trying to be something for her, but I was granted and given the opportunity to do that. Prior to that, I had completely kept to myself. I had removed myself from society for 7 years. Alan Watts is also stated as saying, a man who only thinks only has his thoughts to think about, which really screwed me up because I'm like, well, I got to get out there and I got to try things out. So she comes along and she is an absolute masterpiece. But guess what? I'm not good enough for her. Now, that's not to say I'm not good enough for her. That's to say she's got her own baggage I'm not in control of. So we go, and we don't go anymore. So now I'm left to think, oh, well, what's this? What's that? What am I supposed to do with all this? And the only thing I'm going to think of is every single one of my own pre-programmed insecurities, all the shit that I worked on. I was thrown back into shadow work. Dark night of the soul. I have a condo here in Dark Night of the Soul land now, for Christ's sakes. Just walking through like I own the place. I do. I own land in the Dark Night of the Soul land. Because it's for me. The only way it could have made any impact is if I gave a shit, and boy did I. I never, ever knew what love was. I'd only heard about it. I'd only seen it. I'd only dabbled with it. Hither and yon. I knew what lust was. I knew what desire was. I knew what getting my way was. I knew what manipulating was. But I never knew what love was. Bro, I met this girl. Love. I flat out loved her. I put her above myself to my own detriment. I don't want to say I was too accessible. I was too this, I was too that. I was exactly who she needed to be to get her life to where she's going. She's got a very bright future. And much like the Pearl Jam song Black, was one of the greatest lyrics in the world, and I just became part of it. I know someday you'll be a beautiful star in somebody's sky, but why, oh, why can't it be mine? Oh, deep. Am I hurt? Fuck yes. Bro, I have been, this month, it's no longer October, thank God, when this episode airs, but the month of October was fucked for me. Just wild. It's my dad's birthday. It's also 13 days later his death day. It's my buddy Rod. He ended up getting flash sick and passing away real fast, turbo cancer. We all know what that might be. I'm not going to say anything. The list goes on and on. I picked up a spike, blew out my tire, just crazy stuff. And then you look at all the pluses and pros and cons and all the flip sides. We went all over that before. But the month was nuts. Am I hurting? 100%. Do I need to talk to her? Fuck no. Right? She wanted space. She wanted closure. Not closure. She wanted space. So she's got it. If all I ever wanted was for her to be happy, then away I back. Hello. Oh, look at me go. And this isn't about a game. This isn't a structure. This isn't anything. Hey, man, if you and I haven't talked by now when you're listening to this episode, I wish you the absolute best, stated with the most deepest sincerity. You showed me that I did have the ability to love, that I do have the ability to love. And the coolest thing about that is it's not like I'm going to go ahead and turn that around and go find somebody else to love. I now know how to talk to me a little bit better. And when we find ourselves in a world that's all riddled with mental health and saying all these things like men are pieces of shit, men's this, men can't do that, no. And then we go through this whole fucking empowerment and social thing where all the women need to, they're attacking men and I can do better and I can do this. Men just sit back and take it and take it and take it. Now I know some men are dicks and fuck, some men really are dicks. You guys are all pieces of shit. And until you get your shit together, the ones that you know who I'm talking about, until you get your shit together, whatever happens to you is 100% your own doing. Right? But at the same time, you have the exact same ability that I had, that everybody else has, to turn it around. Get your head out of your fucking ass. Turn it around. Get your shit together. To all you piece of shit men out there. To all you good dudes who are getting fucked over by piece of shit girls. This is where you own yours. This is where you step up into yours. And to all you amazing girls getting run over by pieces of shit men, again, this is where you own yours. And once we stop saying things like, oh, you're terrible, you're bad, you're this, you're that. Honestly, here's the deal. If you're dating somebody and they do some really fucked up shit and you want to forgive them, go for it. If they do it again and you want to forgive them, go for it. And if they do it a third time and you don't get the hell out of there, that's a lesson that you needed to learn. Right? And that's not something that anybody wants to talk about because fuck, what does that sound like? That sounds like accountability. I sit back here and I can say to myself, where did I go wrong? Well, I can tell you where I went wrong. I didn't have the ability to communicate, which blows my fucking mind. I sit here and I talk to you guys all the time about virtually everything. Speaking of which, I want to put together a really cool show because I've been making all this music and I talked about this before and I'm going to do it. I'm not sure. It might even be out before this one because I'm probably just going to put it together. I got to put this song out there. I want to do like an hour, like I'm my own disc jockey, but I'm spinning my own songs because it's the fastest way to get my stuff out there without worrying about copyright infringement, because I copied a lot of songs. I made some covers and they're fantastic, but they're, yeah. Anyway, long story. We have been gifted so much stuff and I've been through so much stuff and I've been abandoned. Every single one of my relationships ends weirdly. Like when I say weirdly, I don't mean like, oh my God, she's got a gun. I mean like everything's fine. And then boom, gone, ghosted. I had a girlfriend once that I didn't hear from. We were fine. We were supposed to meet up on Tuesday. I didn't hear from her. She ghosted me. My ego's like, fuck you. I found out 2 years later that she died. Like, and I say that with a chuckle to my mind, because it's like, how far up your own ass do you have to be? Do you have to get? Now, granted, she did ghost me. She didn't die right away, but she died like 6 months later. And was it tied to anything? Not that I could ever find out. But she wanted nothing to do with me. So I get angry. And then as it all plays out, maybe she was trying to spare me. You know, I don't know. So that's what I'm saying. Like, my life is riddled with things that are crazy. So for me to think that this was actually going to work out, boy, that would have been a nice pipe dream, right? That would have been fantastic. That would have been beautiful. That would have been the most perfect thing in the entire world, but that's not in my fucking cards. And I'll tell you why, and I'm not angry about it, even though I'm passionate and pouring it out there. This is cathartic to have this conversation, to say these things, to speak this. This is cathartic. This is what I needed. I feel more alive now than I have in the past 10 days. And so for me, it's amazing to hold on to something, to see something, to grasp onto something, to believe in an idea. And when we don't talk about it because I'm scared, because she's scared, because you're scared, because he's scared, because she's scared, because everyone's scared, because of what they may think, say, do, whatever the fuck it is, we tend to shoot ourselves in the foot, and we do fucked up and stupid things. You know what we do? We then go and we ask our asshole friends for validation. Of course your friends are going to validate you. Not me. I'm going to shoot straight with you. If you're an idiot, well, guess who's going to give you that straight goods? And that's why a lot of people don't come to me for direct advice, my friends. But if you're a client, well, the best thing I can ever possibly do for you is give you great straight advice. Right? So again, we live in this world where men aren't allowed to emote. They aren't allowed to think, say, do things without being ostracized, accused of things, whatever it is. I know so many men that are in relationships with narcissistic or abusive women who, if they even try to leave, she's threatening to go to the cops. And of course, we live in a world where it's believe all women. So now the guy's abusive. It doesn't take much for a crazy broad to do something and for a guy to get fucked over. It does not take much. I know some men that went to prison because of some women who said some things. Look at oh shit, what's his name? The pitcher. Went to the Dodgers. Was in, I believe, Cleveland. I can't remember his name. I can see his face. The guy's been removed. He had a $200 million contract, and some lady said something, and he lost everything. Now the MLB won't even bring him back. And she's even denounced it. She said, it's all a lie. I made the whole thing up. Right? So we live in a world where a lot of people are afraid to make moves. A lot of people are afraid to trust. I'm saying this to the men right now. Men, we need to be better leaders in the coming days. The government is not our friend, and it's not going to get any better. And we're all out here drinking soy milk for the most part. How many of you are circumcised? Hey, think about that. These fuckers waltzed in and cut the tip of your dick off. Under the guise of health. Blah, blah, fucking blah. That's crazy. This is a raw episode, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to put a, what do they call it there? Lots of swear words in this one. They took the tip of your penis. What the fuck? Right? And what are we doing over here? We're drinking shitty milk. We're drinking pasteurized milk. We're losing our calcium. We're losing our bones. We're eating food that's just all fucking poison. And we don't have a backbone. We don't have a spine. We don't have anything. This is an all call. We're done with this shit. At what point do we just say enough is enough? At what point do we just say, hey, fuck, let's go? Right? I don't want to play by your rules. I don't want to play by your IRS. I don't want to get taxed to death. I don't want to lose half my fucking paycheck because of you, because you're going to do whatever the hell you're going to do with it. In Canada, 103% of your gross household income goes towards paying tax. It's supposed to pay it down. That's our deficit. 103%. Canada is totally underwater. In other words, it's already been sold. So that whole Canada's not for sale bullshit, it's gone. We're done. Nobody wants to talk about that either. Don't want to ruffle any feathers. Ladies and gentlemen, this song, this episode, this thing, this moment in time, this arc that I want to be on, I want men to reach out to me. Men, reach out to me. info at the Mental Mastery Alliance. Email me directly if you want, Adam at the Mental Mastery Alliance. If you're having a fucked up time, if you're having an issue, if you're having pain, if you're having problems and you want to talk, give me a shout. Send us a DM on Instagram. Instagram.com/the Mental Mastery Alliance. Find us. Reach out to us. Let us help you if we can. I can't stress this enough. Women, you're not being left behind. Not in this. I'm saying this to men because men really don't have an opportunity to speak. Men really, really, really get their asses handed to them. There's always somebody willing to talk to a woman, even though it's another guy. Sometimes it's a good guy, sometimes a bad guy. There's always someone willing to talk to a woman because women are nice and soft and sensitive, whether it's a guy or a girl. A man starts talking 9 times out of 10. He doesn't want to burden anybody, doesn't want to bother his friends, doesn't want to do any of that shit. Fuck all of it, bro. I'm talking to you directly. If you want to talk, send me a DM. Send me an email, adam@thementalmasteryalliance.com. I will reply to you. We will set up a call and we'll hash a few things out. Totally pro bono, totally on me. Don't burden your friends. Don't be anything. You don't have to give me your full name if you don't want to. Let's see if we can't help you out. This world is fucked. It's only getting worse until we stop drinking the pasteurized milk, until we stop eating the shitty food, until we start moving our muscles and moving our bodies. They will run over you and me and our women and our family and our loved ones and everything. And every single man that's listening to this podcast knows one of 2 very, very important rules in life. You never fuck with a man's car and you never fuck with a man's woman. If you don't have the ability to keep your woman, just make sure she's loved moving down the road. Wish her well and move on, because sometimes good women just simply walk out the door. Bad women, those fuckers never leave. What the hell? Ladies and gentlemen, this was a very personal episode for me, and I really liked it. Like I said, I'm going to get into doing the radio episode at some point, but until then, we're going to walk out of here, and I'm going to leave you with a song that we covered. Let's just see if you all figure out what song it is. It's catchy, though. Unsurprising. Ladies and gentlemen, normally I sign off these shows with in the infamous words of Red Green. But I'm going to sign off this episode with in the infamous words of a very dear friend on his deathbed. You don't have to like it. Lord knows I sure as shit don't. But you do have to accept it.
I think I should get off her first. I think she wants some water to put out the blowtorch. Isn't me? Have a seat. Let me clip your dirty wings. Let me take a ride. Cut yourself. Want some help? Please myself. Got some rope. Haven't told. Promise you have been true. Let me take a ride. Cut yourself. Want some help? Please myself. Some food, she asked me to untie her. A chase would be nice for a few. Isn't me? Have a seat. Let me clip your dirty wings. Let me take a ride. Cut yourself. Want some help? Please myself. Got some rope. Haven't told. Promise you have been true. Let me take a ride. Cut yourself. Want some help? Please myself. says her back hurts. She's just as bored as me. She caught me off my guard. Amazes me the will of instinct. Is it me? Have a seat. Let me clip your dirty wings. Let me take a ride. Cut yourself on some help. Please myself. Got some rope. Haven't told. Promise you have been true. Let me take a ride. Cut yourself on some help. Please myself.
Really hope you enjoyed this episode of the Mental Mastery Alliance podcast. Stay connected with us directly through the mentalmasteryalliance.com. You can also join the discussion on Instagram at instagram.com/the Mental Mastery Alliance. Let the team know you're listening by using the hashtag TMMA or tagging us at the Mental Mastery Alliance. To have your voice heard on the show, leave a voicemail or send a text to 647-338-1265. Long-distance charges may apply. If you love us, leave us a review. If you hate us, you spend your time in weird ways, but also leave a review. Every review on iTunes tickles the algorithm, helping us grow. Until next time, unity over division. This concludes the most surreal portion of your day.
You got it, Pontiac.